Dear friends, this video we are discussing some questions you can expect for coming nursing exams. So please carefully listen. First question. You are assessing the stoma of a patient with a healthy, well-healed colostomy. You expect the stoma to appear. Options: dry and black, pale pink, red and moist, dark purple. Correct answer is red and moist. So patient with a healthy, well-healed colostomy, stoma will be red and moist. Don't forget. Good circulation causes tissues to be moist and red. So a healthy, well-healed stoma appears red and moist. From the picture you can understand well-healed stoma. Next question. Which of the following symptoms is common with a hiatal hernia? Options: right arm pain, upper back pain, abdominal cramps, esophageal reflux. Correct answer is esophageal reflux. Which of the following symptoms is common with a hiatal hernia? That is esophageal reflux. We can discuss the rationale. Esophageal reflux is a common symptom of hiatal hernia. Occurs when a stomach acid frequently flows back into the tube connecting your stomach and mouth. So esophageal reflux, that is, occurs when stomach acid frequently flows back into the tube connecting your mouth and stomach. So you will be irritated. This is esophagus. Hiatal hernia is here. You can see the portion here. So esophageal reflux is a common symptom of hiatal hernia. I think you understood the esophageal reflux. That is, the stomach acids comes forward. That is esophageal reflux. Next question. Planning home care for a client with hepatitis A. Which preventive measure should be taken to protect the client's family? Options: isolate the client using good sanitization with dishes and shared bathrooms, forbidding the sharing of needles and syringes, avoid contact with blood-soiled clothing. Correct answer is using good sanitization with dishes and shared bathrooms. So, home care for a client with hepatitis A, you should use some preventive measures, that is, using good sanitization with dishes and shared bathrooms. Hepatitis A is transmitted through the fecal route, fecal-oral route. Hepatitis A is transmitted through fecal-oral route or from contaminated water and food. Measures to protect the family include good hand washing, personal hygiene and sanitization, and use of standard precautions. Complete isolation is not required. Avoiding contact with blood-soiled clothing or dressing or avoiding the sharing of needles or syringes are precautions needed to prevent transmission of hepatitis B. So hepatitis A is fecal-oral route transmission or water or contaminated water or food. Avoid contact with blood-soiled clothing or dressing or avoiding the sharing of needles or syringes are the precautions needed to prevent transmission of hepatitis B. Next question. The nurse is performing an abdominal assessment and inspects the skins of the abdomen. The nurse performs which assessment next? Options: palpate the abdomen for a change in size, palpate the liver at right side, listen to vowel sounds in all four quadrants, percusses the right lower abdominal quadrant. Correct answer is listen to vowel sounds in all four quadrants. The nurse is performing an abdominal assessment and inspects the skin of the abdomen. The nurse performs which assessment next? So after inspection, listen to vowel sounds in all four quadrants. The appropriate sequence for abdominal examination is inspection, auscultation, percussion and palpation. This is the order. Auscultation is performed after inspection to ensure that the motility of the bowel and vowel sounds are not altered by percussion and palpation. Therefore, after inspecting the skin on the abdomen, the nurse should listen for vowel sounds. So I will explain each one. What is inspection? Inspection means close watching or looking. Then auscultation, second one, that is listening to organ sounds. Auscultation means listening to organ sounds. You can use stethoscope and all. Then percussion. Percussion means tapping of skin. Percussion means tapping of skin. Final palpation. Palpation means applies the sense of touch to assess texture, temperature, organ location, size, swelling, etc. So palpation is the final step, that is to apply the sense of touch to assess texture, temperature, organ location, size, swelling, etc. So I think you understood the order. Next question. After a subductal gastrectomy, the nurse should expect that nasogastric tube drainage will be what color for about 12 to 24 hours after surgery? Options: dark brown, cloudy white, bile green, bright red. Correct answer is dark brown. So after a subductal gastrectomy, the nurse should expect that nasogastric tube drainage will be what color for about 12 to 24 hours after surgery. So you have to see the timings. This timing is very important. After 12 to 24 hours, dark brown. About 12 to 24 hours after a subductal gastrectomy, gastric drainage is normally brown, which indicates digested blood. Bile green or cloudy white drainage is not expected during the first 12 to 24 hours after a subductal gastrectomy. Drainage during the first 6 to 12 hours contains some bright red blood. So first 6 to 12 hours after gastrectomy, you can expect bright red blood. But large amounts of blood or excessively bloody drainage should be reported to the physician promptly. Next question. A client who was burned has crackles and a respiratory rate of 38 per minute and is coughing up blood-tinged sputum. What action will be nurse take first? Options: administer digoxin, performed chest physiotherapy, check input-output chart, place the client in upright position. Correct answer is place the client in upright position. So a client who was burned has crackles and a respiratory rate of 38 per minute and is coughing up blood-tinged sputum. We have to place the client in upright position. Next question. Placing the client in upright position can relieve the lung congestion immediately. So please note the point. Relieve the lung congestion immediately before other measures can be carried out. Digoxin may be given later to increase cardiac contractility. So digoxin drug is using to increase cardiac contractility. From each point you can make a question. To prevent backup of fluid into the lungs. Cardiac contractility to prevent backup of fluid into the lungs. Chest physiotherapy will not get rid of fluid. Monitoring input output is important. However, it is not an immediate intervention. Next question. Which of the following refers to a wound covering brought about by the donated human cadaver? Skin provided by the skin bank. Correct answer is homograft. Which of the following refers to a wound covering brought about by the donated human cadaver? Skin provided by the skin bank. That is homograft. Xenograft or heterograft is the transplantation of living cells, tissues or organs from one species to another. So please study all these four. Xenograft or heterograft, that is the transplantation of living cells or tissues or organs from one species to another. So please note the example. Common example is the use of pig heart valves in humans. Common examples of xenograft or heterograft is the use of pig heart valves in humans. Autograft. What is autograft? Autograft is skin taken from the person burned. So here we are taking the skin from the same person and implanted the same person. That is autograft. Autograft is a skin taken from the person burned. Then homograft. What is homograft? Homograft means human to human. The other person to the separate person. That is human to human. Usually valves transplanted from one human to another human. It is limited to donor availability. I think you understood the four. Difference between xenograft, heterograft. This is same. Xenograft and the heterograft are the same. Then autograft is another method. Homograft is another method. So next question. Which vitamin deficiency is most likely to be a long-term consequence of a full thickness burn injury? Options: vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D. Correct answer is vitamin D. So vitamin D deficiency is most likely to be a long-term consequence of a full thickness burn injury. Skin exposed to sunlight activates vitamin D. Partial thickness burns reduce the activation of vitamin D. Activation of vitamin D is lost completely in full thickness burns. So we cannot expose the skin to sunlight because of burns. So there will be complete deficiency of vitamin D will be there. So in full thickness burn, vitamin D is lost completely. So that's all for today's video. You can expect this type of endless type model questions also in your exams, because your exams are going to be more competitive. So thank you for watching. If you not subscribe here, please join with us. Please like and share this video to your friends. Thank you. All the best for your exams.